All right, good morning here. A little earlier than usual. Fatboy FadeAway Sports Sunday morning. And yes, look who's back. Tyler McGurk makes a return after Brian, was it been a couple 6 months? No, I'm just kidding. What's it been? A couple months here. Uh, Coach Bombaying it up for Little League and Sebastopol over there. How we doing, Tyler? Good to see you back, my friend.
I'm excited to be back. I missed you guys. Got a day where I got Monday off. I was like, I can wake up a little early. You guys accommodated me, so I appreciate that. It's good to be here.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're back. Um, are you having the kids practice today too?
They got to practice every day, or else we're gonna get run out of the water.
This guy's
Just get
ruthless,
blown out if
Brian.
we don't practice every day.
This guy's ruthless, Brian. I want you to do it. You got him
We
throwing.
need to practice the day before Memorial Day.
Unbelievable. Well, have some respect for the country. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's what you're supposed to do on Memorial Day weekend. Play baseball, right? That's what you're supposed to do. I actually had a softball practice yesterday, but and so it's going to be a league in Healdsburg, but the co-ed league. But the men have to bat the other whatever side your weakest side. So I have to bat
That
right.
favors you.
A little bit, yeah. I guess I'm not terrible right-handed hitter, but I wouldn't say I'm as comfortable there. So it was funny yesterday doing batting practice. Right-handed, Johnson. Could you hit right-handed? And then, because I know you're a lefty, so Brian would not be able to. Tyler, how would you fare?
Dribbling right-handed. I couldn't figure that out either.
That's funny. Could you hit opposite side, T?
I could roll over to the second baseman very well. I couldn't drive the ball. No, I think I'd struggle.
That first baseman would get a lot of love over there. Finally, get some grounders. I know. I was thinking about that. I was like, whoever our first baseman is going to get a lot of rollovers. Got to be ready. So yeah, I got that starting up. So that was kind of fun doing that yesterday as well. But we got you back, T. That's the biggest thing. I know you've been watching some of that shows. Anything catch your attention while you're off the air there for a little bit between me and Brian, or Casey and Brian, or me and Casey? That you wanted to hit on. We talked a lot of Warriors. Obviously, you weren't here for that. We got we talked a little Niners last week. Me and Brian got into a nice little Derek Carr Purdy situation. So I don't know. What do you make of?
Darren down said there's no comparison between Derek Carr and Brock Purdy. Come on, Tyler.
I mean, I get the compare. Purdy's a much better quarterback in my opinion. But I get the compare. He got overpaid. Some people question whether he deserves the money. I think it's a good contract for the Giants, or for the 49ers, and for Purdy. By the end of it, he's going to be paid middle of the road. Unless he overperforms, then they'll have to re-up the contract, but that means he earned it again. So, I actually don't think the contract's that bad. I think everyone who's paid more than him, I actually think he's better than, other than Burrow and Josh Allen. So, that I think was fine. I think Casey gives Draymond Green a big break on all this stuff. He always wants to blame the role players. But if you're the second best player or the third best player, you got to do more. The defense was pathetic when Curry left, and he didn't perform.
Do you guys think that Draymond Green may not be on the team next year?
I think he may not.
If there's a Giannis package out there for it, a Giannis deal, I mean, you got to consider that one. I don't know how Curry would feel about it, but we'll see. We'll see where Curry.
I think he'd be okay with Giannis.
I think he'd want to win, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that'd be a big thing here. All right, so the top NFL QBR leaders last year. Here's where we're just gonna go. Purdy, he's not better than Lamar Jackson, no, right? Purdy better than Josh Allen, no. Purdy better than Joe Burrow, no. Is he better than Jaden Daniels? I guess we'll find. This would be a big year to find out on that. I'm just looking at.
We'll see how Jaden Daniels performs in the second year.
I'd rather have Purdy over Jordan Love. So, or would you? And then you have Goff. I think most of us know I'm not the biggest Goff guy. So he did have those were this guy, and then Purdy was 7th in QBR. And obviously, I don't think. Would you rather have? Here's one. Who would you rather have, Jalen Hurts or Purdy? This is kind of where. Because I know Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl and he was great, but right? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Right?
I think they both need to be in the system they're in to be like. Purdy, I think, could do the Philadelphia system with Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, but I think Jalen Hurts fits that better than Purdy. Where I don't think Jalen Hurts can do what Purdy does out in San Francisco.
I was thinking the only quarterback you guys would maybe take over Purdy that finished like 15 or below in QBR is CJ Stroud. Maybe moving forward, but I don't even know if you'd want to take him over Purdy because of the system. But those would be so. Purdy's right up there. He's on that. He's on that top 10 for sure.
I mean, you mentioned that he's 7th in QBR, and everyone's like, "Oh, what a bad year he had!" Like he was terrible. Like 7th in QBR, that's a pretty good number that people use to like accurately grade quarterbacks. Like it's not like quarterback rating or anything. Or what's the quarter? Is it the quarterback?
Yeah, I just always
passer rating. I mean, the passer rating where people are like, "Oh, that's a bunch of hogwash." Like you can do that in garbage time.
There's so much you can do as a quarterback that you can't lift the whole team up. I mean, you have to have good performances from other players. The defense was atrocious, and the offensive line was non-existent. So I think you can't put last year on Purdy.
But I mean, Brian, let me fight back with you a little bit, just a little. I agree, Purdy's good, really good. But it is his job to elevate certain positions when they aren't playing their best. Like that's a quarterback's job, right? The good ones did it. Tom Brady had some bad offenses at times surrounding him. Like when Edelman's your best receiver. I don't know. I don't know how well Purdy's doing with that.
I would say the thing with Purdy that I still, like I said, I still would take him. What I just noticed from him that made his season kind of seem worse to me, because again, 20-12 doesn't jump off the page when you see that. As like I said, I thought he was just a little less clutch, and some like he threw some goal line picks that I remember that like were killers. Like that was kind of something that would surprise me. But he's still right there with it. He had some great he had a couple games where he got you guys in position to win and the kicker didn't come through. So there were a couple games like that would have been wins that Jake, who knows, will he be back in a good moody next year? He missed a few game winners.
Jake puts you in a bad moody.
He did. He brought in a backup. So I think this is a big year for Purdy, I feel like. So interested to see where he goes this year with that.
For the Niners, it'll be interesting who steps up and in the red zone. I would love to see Ricky Pearsall be a target in the red zone because I think he could be a guy who could get a lot of touchdowns for us. So,
well, and that's kind of what Tyler's point is. He should be able to help guys like that get touchdowns to a certain extent. But I've also he read stats that he was the worst last year. He went like 70, like 110 plays without a catch. I think one attempt was what it was at one point at the end of the year. That was kind of surprising to me. So somewhere along the line, he's got to pick it up here. So we talked about that a lot with the Niners this week. I know NFL wise, we didn't really. You kind of mentioned it, Brian, before we got off there, but they also signed Warner to a huge deal. So you guys got that as going for you as well. So everything seems roses early in Niner Nation. So we'll see if they play it up. I mean,
they have a very good. I've never seen back-to-back bad seasons under the Shanahan and Lynch era. So I mean, I would be surprised if they stuck into the playoffs next year.
I mean, I think you guys have more talent than most teams in the NFC West still, right? I mean, maybe the Rams have a little bit more with the defensive line that they've kind of acquired with the young talent there, but I mean, you guys still probably have. I mean, if Ayuk does come back at some point, you do have the better skilled position players, I think, in every spot.
Nah, they have Nakua and Adams. That's pretty.
But you got McCaffrey, Kittle, Ayuk. I mean,
close.
Not bad.
The Rams are really good. They don't have a tight end like Kittle though.
No.
I'm saying again, management's spending money, so it puts pressure on the team to keep winning, in my opinion.
Speaking of spending the money, they finally don't have a big contract hanging over their head going into the training camp, so that's a good sign for the 49ers.
Their biggest decision is probably going to be kicker this year. Kicker, they like that was probably going to be their biggest story headed into training camp, which isn't the end of the world when it comes to news.
Yeah, Purdy was talking about last year. He said that a lot of the players were exhausted. He just said this year they seem more re-energized. So
Now they didn't make the playoffs. They had a little bit more time with the family. They're sick and tired of the family. Now they want to get back out on the field there and get to work. No, he better say that. He got paid. He's got, for the last pick of the draft, still one of the best stories that you can have there with it. So Fatboy FadeAway Sports here, episode 226. Got Tyler back. We were just kind of hitting on the Niners there a little bit since Tyler's been out a while. We've had some good discussions with that. Purdy gets paid. We talked a little Dubs as well. It got me thinking about Bay Area sports in general. Kind of watching some of the games yesterday. I'm like, Brian, like they have this Bay Area women's team now playing. You have the Valkyrie out here playing. You have the Giants. You have the Oakland Roots is like the only thing. It's really changed a lot over the last that little shift there from moving a lot of those teams out of Oakland, and that you kind of brought in more San Francisco teams, but offshoot sports like WNBA and women's professional. I just kind of I'm just looking at the sports Bay Area scene. It's not as rich as it was when you lose those two other teams that are in a top four. When you're in the NFL, you lose a team out of that, and you lose a team out of MLB, and it's all in kind of the San Francisco area. It just kind of made me really think about. And then I was reading this book about old sports stadiums and stuff, and you had it's just interesting over time how the kind of the landscape has changed in the Bay Area with all the teams, especially with those two Oakland teams moving out. And then the Warriors too out of Oakland. I know they're still in the Bay Area, but it just kind of, I don't know. Any thoughts on that? It's just something that randomly came to my mind seeing the Valkyrie now back. And I'm like, it's just, I don't know. It's great that we have all these options, but we lost two really great options in a whole different scene in the Bay Area. And so it's kind of, I don't know, just try to
it definitely is not as rich as it was as far as I brought it up before, just going to school and having the arguments with your friends about Oakland and San Francisco. I feel bad for my son when he's in high school. He's not going to have those just conversations that were fun that could get heated, but it was always based in mutual respect at the end of the day, at least between me and my friends. Never got overly, and it was just fun. And now that that's not there, it just sucks for both sides. More Oakland, obviously, because Oakland doesn't have anything, and it's just been robbed of everything basically by either an owner in the Davises or a commissioner and Manfred. So, and even the Giants, the Giants putting up that 415 loves of whatever the Oakland.
Yeah,
thing
what was that about? And then they did that little. What's the song that the A's used to play after
Celebration? Yeah,
that was a little bit of a
it's just I was that's just so disingenuous. To be oh, we love Oakland. No, you did a big part in letting them get out of Oakland. So
I guess that's a good kind of want to piggyback off that because I guess maybe that's what I'm maybe searching for more is now when you had A's Giants a couple weeks, there's no energy in the Bay Area. I feel even
Highway 80 didn't get you going.
No, it did not. But I just mean just even if you're a San Francisco fan, I don't know. You're like you said, the juice maybe there's something not there where you got half the fans just in the Bay Area not really fans of some things right now. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just thought it's kind of changed a little bit.
Ryan, you were in San Francisco for one of those games. Comment how you felt the game felt to you as a former Oakland fan. And I don't know if you're still an Athletics fan, but comment it if you're still listening.
Yeah, I am an Athletics fan, but it's just, I don't know. I feel even back in the day, I felt Oakland never got respect. I feel it was always the ugly stepsister of the Bay Area. It was everything was about San Francisco. It's more glorious and it's more successful. The Giants always came through in the World Series, and the A's under the big three couldn't win a clutch baseball game to save their life. So I mean it's fitting in a way because it's just nothing can survive in Oakland because it doesn't get any respect.
I don't know, because you would think even a WNBA team there would be not the worst option. Just you have lost all these teams, and it's no, we're still taking it to San Francisco. I don't know, just kind of interested to be how it's changed a little bit. It's basically all in one area except for San Jose, obviously, with the Sharks and the earthquake. So you have that.
Is there any hatred in your heart for Lakem for taking them out of Oakland? Obviously, it helped them win championships, so that's positive. I feel he gets a free pass.
Well, he kind of gets a free pass because he didn't have another team he was going against basketball-wise. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't one team, and so I think Oakland fans are mad about it. But most of them are. So I kind of, from his standpoint, I understand it more. It's like, you just want to walk to your job or something like that. Instead, he had to always take a 45-minute ride, probably to Oakland over to watch the games too. So I don't know. I just thought maybe some of that has kind of changed a little bit. Just made me think of it when I was made me think of it when I was watching Indiana, the Fever, a little bit yesterday. So I don't know.
When I worked for Med Legal, Oakland was the worst area to go to. I think their homeless situation is worse than Los Angeles. I mean, it wasn't good.
Well, I mean, they have like some other, like their crime is like as high as, I think it's like maybe the worst in the state in terms of like, so they got some other things they're battling there for sure.
There was a TNT substation in Oakland, and I had to like try to serve somebody in there. I couldn't even tell there was anything in there because there was like a bunch of tents with homeless people all around the building, and I sent the job back because I thought the building was empty.
Hey, Fred, you in there? Fred, I can't
Let's
go
talk.
to that chat. Let's talk. I got something for you, Fred. Tyler, what'd you have for this date?
Oh, this date in sports history, a couple interesting things. One of them's very related, but Cassius Clay, now Muhammad Ali, or was Muhammad Ali, knocks out Sonny Liston to become the heavyweight champion, his first time becoming the heavyweight champion. Another thing on this date was Jesse Owens breaks 4 world records in 45 minutes at a college meet. Like, just they say it's the greatest 45 minutes in sports history. I don't know. I mean, just think about that happening today. Just when, like, these kids aren't even going to college anymore if they're Olympic sprinters and like doing that stuff. And then Eck traded from the Red Sox to the Cubs for, do you know who? Can you guess?
Okay, so he went from the Cubs traded. He went to the Red Sox, or he went to the Cubs?
He went to the Cubs. So
okay,
the Cubs sent a very famous player in Red Sox history.
Carlton Fisk?
Bill Buckner.
Oh, baby Bill. Baby Bill gets traded.
And that leads me to a question for, I think I know your guys' answer, but who's better, Dennis Eckersley or John Smoltz for their career?
I would take.
I can throw you the numbers, but
I would take Smoltz.
Really? Eck has 197 wins, 390 saves, 1 Cy Young, 1 MVP, a 3.5 ERA. Same whip as Smoltz. Smoltz has 213 wins, 154 saves. Only was a closer for 3 seasons. I thought he did it longer than that.
No, yeah, he only did it for
only 3 seasons. 154 saves in 3 seasons, just ridiculous. 1 Cy Young and a 3.33 ERA.
I mean, with Eck did win the MVP. He has that over Smoltz. I know for sure when he had 90 when he did it. I mean, I didn't see him pitch enough as a starter on that side of it. So Ryan chiming in here. Ryan, hope you were doing well. I was there on Saturday. He's talking about the A's Giants. Went completely neutral. He went completely neutral. Thank you. Well, maybe in San Francisco he gets away with it.
Bay of Breakers that week?
Yeah, no A's gear. There was barely any A's fans, and a majority of them had shirts and signs. Fisher, they rather be cheering their team. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that's where that's where it's a tough one. I still would love to get those "Let's Go Oakland" chants that you got there with it. Times the chains for it, disheartening in that area with it. But yeah, that's a good. So,
hey, Ryan, who are the Sharks going to take number 1 in the draft this year?
Did they get the number 1 pick again?
I got second. Yeah, second. Islanders pulled like a Mavericks. They had like a 1.8% chance, and then they ended up getting the first pick. So but Sharks have 2, so they did at least they're top 2. So they should be able to build on that again. I need something. My teams are falling apart over here, so I need the Sharks to pick it back up. I was watching the Panthers game just real quick in the third period. I turned it on. Goal! 1 minute later, goal! 1 minute later, goal! I was like, my gosh.
That Panthers team seems loaded.
What is this video game hockey? I was like, what is this video game hockey, Brian? So I was good this date with it. What I saw, I think I saw this today was also the one of Reggie Miller getting blocked by Tayshaun Prince. I remember that one running back on defense. So that was there with it. We got to do a new rewatchable. We got to do a new rewatchable too. We got to pick a game. You said you mentioned the game 5 of
Toronto.
Toronto, yeah. I was going to talk about this on 7th Inning Stretch on Thursday, but they brought this up, and you posted it too. It's called the MLB Quarter Century Team, and I don't expect you guys to have anything figured out immensely, but they basically over the last 25 years, who's the best players. They have Bonds in left, Trout in center, Judge in right, Beltre at third, Jeter at short, Altuve at second, Pujols at first. Ortiz is David Ortiz is your designated hitter, Yadi Molina your catcher, and then your starting rotation of Verlander, Kershaw, Halladay, Scherzer, Johnson. I just wonder, my one big one would be, would Johnson still be there because of not
the short amount of time?
Or do you replace him with your guy CC Sabathia or something like that? He was first ballot. And then Molina, I think, is the hanging fruit there. I think Buster Posey would be your argument there at catcher, right? I think that would be a big one. And then I heard a lot. Then my guy Logan, he wasn't happy with the Altuve one. He thinks that's a joke. That should be like Cano or Pedroia, he says.
Are you ready to put Judge already there? I mean, there isn't anybody in left field that.
I mean, who would you put over him though? I mean, he's got over 300 home runs already now. He's already set the all-time American League home run record. He's two-time MVP now, looking like 3 is pretty sure there if he just continues doing anything he does in the second half. I don't know. I hear you. I mean, I think you could probably make an argument for a couple guys, but he's the one that stands. Like maybe Mookie Betts is on there instead, or something like that. That would maybe be my. But I don't know. That would be maybe my push. Ohtani maybe over David Ortiz. I don't know. And then who's at third base? Maybe A-Rod or something over Beltre. I'm not sure. That might be my other one.
Yeah, I would probably put A-Rod at third. I would have Miguel Cabrera has to be on this team. I don't like. There's no way he's not one of the 9 best players of the quarter century. I'd put him over Ortiz. He just has to be on there. I know maybe he didn't DH quite enough, but I mean he's a way better hitter than David Ortiz in my opinion. Like you look at the numbers.
Move him to third. Move him to third.
Miguel Cabrera has to be on the team, and then I'd put Posey over Yadier. But that's just.
What about Cal? I mean,
Cal. You say Cal Ripken?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was retired by the time this time. Like this goes from the year 2000 to 2025.
Gotcha.
So that's what that's looking like. Sounds like you're underwater.
I feel like you're in a tunnel with the wind is howling.
he's in Comiskey Field, right? He's in there. Jump back on, log off, jump back on. Sounds like you're in a wind tunnel for a second. Cabrera would be interesting. I'll have to bring that up to.
Cabrera has to be on there.
How about the pitching? Anybody jump out to you?
No, the pitching seemed right. I don't have any issue with any of the pitching.
Not the Randy one.
Randy could be replaced. I'd have to look harder.
Not Sabathia though.
I just think Sabathia is a step below those 4.
Zach Greinke. You put a Greinke in?
No.
Logan said he replaced Greinke with Johnson too. That was what he said he'd have on there. So that one kind of surprised me. Michael Misa, 18-year-old Canadian. I think that's who the Sharks.
We love the Canadians.
We do love those Canadians. We'll end up with them. No Canadian, not enough to put a Canadian on this list, though. Not enough to put him on this. How about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. maybe over Judge or senior? That's the only one I could think of, maybe two in right field.
That's not bad. Ichiro,
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Maybe that's who we're putting over Judge if we're making any fights on that.
Brian, do you have any issue if they put Ichiro in right field over Aaron Judge? Aaron Judge has to be on the list, though. He's been unbelievable.
Take Trout off then.
Who are you putting in center?
Judge. You can drop fly balls out there.
Well, if we're doing that, then Miguel better go to DH.
We'll do hitter. We'll pitch him too. He probably can do that by now.
I don't think I'd put Ichiro over Judge.
Ichiro over Judge. Yeah, that may be where
he had a great nickname.
He did. I can't share it anymore.
I've grown and I'm matured.
I've grown and I'm matured. That's what I'm doing right now. All right, so we got that as well with it going on. Brian, who do you got? Minnesota, real quick. They came back. They beat, destroyed OKC yesterday. You still who you got? We joked about maybe a possible OKC Indiana, like the NBA wouldn't want that because of that. And then you have the Knicks. Halliburton gives them the choke. He gives them the choke side. They do it. So who are you taking, Brian? Still after you've seen the first 3 games of the NBA playoffs? You still
I
going?
think it's going to be OKC versus Pacers.
OKC versus Pacers. That's what it is looking like. They got the Knicks tonight. The Knicks have to win, obviously. Can they do what Minnesota did last night? Obviously, Minnesota was at home, though. McGurk, who do you like in those two?
I like Oklahoma City and Indiana. I had them before the series started. I think this Minnesota series could get interesting if they can score, like, not obviously 143 points a game, but if they can score, I think that series could get very interesting.
Could get to 7.
Absolutely, it just be serving home court the whole way through. Like,
it's hard to trust Minnesota, though.
This would be the first championships for both franchises, right? The Pacers or OKC, because they haven't won.
And Minnesota.
I think the Knicks are the only one they haven't even won since the 70s. So it's like you really do have 4 teams out there that have been searching for a while. And I mean we were what was that on Wednesday, that game, Tuesday, I think maybe even Monday. What a choke job by New York. An all-time choke job. I mean, Naismith just unreal. I mean, talk about a 2-minute highlight tape. It's just like couldn't miss a shot.
Casey was comparing them to the Toronto Maple Leafs. So.
Oh, yeah, you start throwing out like the Maple Leafs or the Chargers or you start throwing teams out like that. You're hurting people. Clippers.
I wanted to make an announcement. Starting next week, I want to start getting Darren more excited about the Raiders. So I'm going to do the research myself, but it's going to be historical or current. I'm going to try to delve up as much Raider facts of the week to get him pumped for this upcoming season, because I want to see him more motivated, because I think they will be more improved than they were last year.
Brian, I see what you're doing. You just want to talk more NFL.
That's smart football. Smart
game plan, Brian. Smart game plan.
Right. If you can pick up any energy, I would appreciate that with the Raiders. Like I said, give me something to cheer about with this team other than, man, these guys look good in shorts. Doing great. They're doing great.
JT and Bowers doesn't get you a little excited in the pants.
This team, no team knows how to lose better. No team knows how to lose with style, more like there. But maybe Gino's ready, Brian. Maybe you got to give me some stats. That'll get me fired up next week for the Raiders. Back at it. I did see that they have the Thursday night schedule released. We play the Patriots that first week, so we'll see what happens there with the Raiders in New England. You get it. They start out there with it. Did you guys see that the Amazon's coming out with a Raiders movie, I guess, with Al Davis and John Madden? Have you seen that with Nicolas Cage playing John Madden and
Christian Bale? Yeah, it looks pretty good. They look good as far as like the makeup and stuff. So.
It just cracks me up there. I'd love to see Al. I just can't wait to just being a Raiders fan. It'll be interesting to see how some of these stories are portrayed. Is it going to be like the Lakers one where Jerry West is throwing stuff through windows and doors, or is it going to be a little bit more realistic? But we'll see in some of those regards. So that's coming out on Amazon as well. So
I just want to see the overhead projector slideshow to be on
on Fire Aid Lane Kiffin. Yeah, we're like, that's the worst thing ever. Brian, I saw Cody returned last night. Are you excited about that?
Yeah, it's going to be Cody and Jey Uso versus Cena and Logan Paul at Money in the Bank. So.
Here comes the money. Here comes the money.
Do you have an early prediction on who wins?
Who do you guys want to win the briefcase for the men and for the women?
Ryan, for the women, I don't give a hoot. Doesn't interest me. Who's up for it in the men? I haven't been paying attention, Brian. You got to give me more options.
Get your head in the game, John. Somebody.
Braun Breaker is going to be in it.
I do like some big Papa Pump.
Yeah. I don't know. I would love to see him win it, and then somehow at some point Seth Rollins wins the world title or something.
That's probably what's going to happen. It has the most storyline.
And your boy Tyler Bronson rejoined their faction last night. So.
No, Tyler got some.
Gotta love a big fatty joining the.
I was gonna say I saw something the other day with with the Caitlin Clark thing yesterday. I saw like something with tickets where I was looking at for a Valkyrie game, and in Upper Bowl it was like $330. I was like, God. Then the next game I was like, let me look, it was like $30. Right, so that woman's driving that whole thing right now. She's driving the right. I mean, she is. She's
I mean, as much as people, she is.
She could work the State Farm showing up with that one outfit for the game.
She's it's kind of incredible the run she's on a little bit with some of that stuff right now. So you got that going on as well. I saw this list just by kind of finish out before I hit the winners and losers. Is I saw this top 20 players most loved, and then the other one was most hated players in MLB. Let me get it up here. So top most loved players: Ken Griffey, Derek Jeter, Ichiro, Cal Ripken, Tony Gwynn, Jackie Robinson, Roberto Clemente, Mariano Rivera, Ozzie Smith, Nolan Ryan. I was like, that's pretty good. Those are all those. There's not too much against that list. Most hated: Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, Jose Canseco, Roger Clemens, Manny Ramirez, Pete Rose, Carlos Correa, Bryce Harper, Yasiel Puig, Trevor Bauer. That's a pretty good list for most hated and most loved, I thought there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Let's see that one as well.
Maybe something's wrong with me because I like the more hated list more than I like the most loved list.
There is, because you like most of those players. That's part of why you like that.
Exactly. That's weird. Except for Bauer. Bauer's kind of a weirdo.
You'll watch his YouTube channel.
I do not.
Brian, what do you got for winners and losers this week? Where do you want to start?
I'm gonna go losers. I got a couple. These dogs again last night.
Oh no.
Yeah, at 1:30 in the morning, they start barking at everything, and I don't know anymore. I think I'm gonna have to get some earplugs or something because it doesn't work me yelling "shut up" to them. So I don't know.
That
I
doesn't
just don't
work.
understand how it is not bothering anybody else in the neighborhood. Either they're tuning it out, or I have no idea. But
Maybe they put their TV really loud or something like that.
Brian, I heard some steaks laced with coolant will do the job. That's the rumor around town. Just kidding. Do not do that.
Not do that.
That is not allowed.
my other loser of the week is I checked out the Brett Favre Netflix thing, and I always knew I just never was a Brett Favre guy, and it exposes him, and
you probably enjoyed every.
He already exposed himself a couple of years ago.
They added that onto it, I think. That's a good one. What do you got, Tyler, for loser of the week?
My loser of the week is MGK. Some song he put out. It's like an NSYNC song. It's not what I expected. It's really taking a turn.
He's going
trying to woo Sydney Sweeney. That's the question.
Maybe he's doing his best to try. Brian, I'm surprised you didn't put the A's as loser of the week. We're going on almost 2 weeks of not winning a baseball game.
I can't watch them anymore. It's just they blow it all the time.
11 straight losses. Just as bad as it can get right now. They just look terrible against the Angels. And I think again, Brian, I go all the way back to that Seattle series. I know it started getting them in bad mojo with it. They're 22-31 right now. How can I not put the Knicks on there? You lose 2 games at home on there, then you just, like I said, absolutely blow a game there with it. So in game 1. So those are my losers of the week. What do you got for winner of the week, Brian?
For winner of the week, I'm going to go the Indiana Pacers. They have a chance to go up 3-0 on the Knicks and go for their first championship in franchise history.
I like it. Good call there. What do you got, Tyler?
I got another loser. That's the Giants offense the last week. They're averaging 2.4 runs. We're back to old Farham baseball. My winner of the week is the Giants again, putting Hayden Birdsong in the starting rotation. It's about damn time.
Loser and winner of the Giants. Impressive.
Well, they're hitting, and then their front office putting Birdsong, their manager finally putting Birdsong in this starting rotation. Those birds were singing. They were chirping.
Were they doing that just to save his arm or something?
I have no idea. I mean, I hope so. That's the only reasoning that makes sense, but I don't care about saving arms. Fucking let him pitch.
I got Acuna Jr. He already homers on first pitch, throws that guy out at second base, homers again yesterday. I'd already talked about the Amazon movie that you guys, the Raiders won. I love just the fact that they have the Nicolas Cage played John Madden cracks me up. Saw that. Around the Horn. I've kind of lost track with that show over the last probably 10 years, but it's been on forever. They said Tony Rally's hosted more shows than Oprah Winfrey. That's impressive. So he's Around the Horn was kind of always a little bit a part of my day, especially when it first started, because you had Max Kellerman doing it, and that would lead into PTI. So it was kind of like this part of the show. So Around the Horn, they got a little love this week with it. So that show is no more as well. And then I kind of like this time of year just for like the college baseball part of things. Like not a big fan all the time, obviously, with college baseball, but I do enjoy a little when it gets close to tournament time.
Yesterday.
Say that again.
There's an outfield collision. I was like,
that was ugly.
Oh, I have that ready to go. Let's
see. They say more paid, less stake.
That's why I get paid to make a lot of money here, Brian. That's what so here's the collision you're talking about.
Like that's a strength of his.
They pitch a bat, and he drives it into right center field. Everybody on the run. Oh, collision as the ball ends up at the fence. Isaac Humphrey is down. Kozel ends up at third. They're going to wave him home. It'll be an inside the Parker, but that is secondary to the health in the outfield of both.
Oh, that was not a pretty one at all. The guys, they ended up being okay, the ones out. But I would say okay, they're alive, I guess I should say. I didn't do it, but they're still out there. I mean, that was when you see everything fly off like that. Somebody brought it up when Matt Olson, I think, got it inside the park home run a couple weeks ago. I forget how he got it down the left field line. Is that bad sportsmanship to keep running? Like, what do you want? Little league. What if he ran the first base and just sprints out to center field? Like, is that what they want from him?
Would they tag him out?
Yeah, exactly. That's that, man. Down to the baseline. So I saw that. You're right. That's a nasty collision, but it's always good to hear that ping off the bat once in a while. So college baseball back with that. And then, of course, the Troops Memorial Day weekend. I was watching this on Netflix. They had the Bin Laden one, and so I watched that. That was kind of interesting, and like it's just hard. Like I was thinking, like my kids will never understand quite that. Just not from him, not from us. They'll probably have somebody do this. There was always somebody there, but to take the spot. But it was just kind of like this mythical figure after that. Like they couldn't find, they couldn't find him. It's crazy, like the way they were able to hunt him down. And then, of course, the Navy SEALs that went in on that operation is just. I don't know. It's just hard for me to process something like that, like doing that. And I'm always amazed by the helicopter part where it does kind of crash and they're not able to like kind of somewhere they weren't able to get there quick enough to the Pakistans to offshoot the mission. So they were there for 45 minutes on the ground. That's insane that they made it back alive and stuff and with them. So
helicopters are ridiculous how stealth they are and like how you can crash and still no one knows you're there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a cool documentary though. Just kind of showcase some of the people that probably went under the radar and actually getting it done. So it was a cool documentary at that. But so shout out to the Troops there at the Memorial Day weekend. So Tyler, good to have you back though, my friend. Hopefully, so what do you got? You got baseball here for what, next 3 weeks or how's that looking? 4 weeks?
Yeah, about a month.
So
6 days a week of practice. Sundays I'll have off this. I should be able to join the podcast at 7:30.
Are you a manager?
The rest of the week.
Are you the manager?
I am the manager.
Did you keep making the calls? Rod the assistant still?
Rod Brooks, good old crafty Rod. Yeah, he's my assistant, and then I have another guy who I've been doing it with throughout the years with my father-in-law.
Is Big Brother still there? Yeah, Ryan. Is he retired?
No, Ryan has had enough.
Is it golf season now? On the golf season. We got to get the golf. On the golf season now. All right. Well, Brian, you have a good week. Tell those dogs to, you know what, just keep motivating them in the right direction.
I'm just going to buy, the earmuffs you get when you go shooting. I think I'm going to buy one of those. And maybe it silences everything out. So
I've also heard.
Hopefully, don't miss your alarm.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't miss the alarm. I've also heard if you feed dogs a lot of donuts, they get settled down. So maybe just like throw like a dozen donuts over the fence and the dogs they gain like 50 pounds and you won't have enough energy to bark. So you can try something like
give them diabetes. The way you have to lose a leg.
Yeah, diabetes.
Dogs.
Exactly. Your dog has high cholesterol. What's going on around here? Your dog has
What's wrong with his blood sugar levels? It's off the roof.
That's great. All right. You guys have a good week. Hope to see you hope to see you soon here, Tyler. Ryan, have a good week. Casey, if you're out there, wake up out there, Kate. Wake up. We got up there with it. All right, Brian. See you, T. Have a good one.
Later.